Burns, falls, drowning, poisoning, choking and suffocation are just among the most common serious injuries for young children around the house and yard. Well, this is according to children's safety advocacy organization ChildSafe South Africa, who have put together a list of guidelines to help keep children safe at home during the lockdown and beyond, thus making sure that every child is afforded their right to grow and flourish in a safe environment without the threat of being hurt or even compromised, especially during these difficult times. Now, to help us dissect these guidelines further, I'm joined on Skype by ChildSafe's Executive Director, Yolanda Baker. Yolanda, very good morning to you. Thanks for joining us. Welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning, Simpiwe.
Yolanda, can we perhaps start by establishing what ChildSafe South Africa is all about and the kind of work that you do there?
So ChildSafe is based at the Red Cross Children's Hospital in Cape Town.
Okay.
And we focus on the prevention of all the injuries that you've just mentioned, you know, the burns, the falls, poisons, suffocation. And then, you know, when it's not locked down, we also do focus on road traffic crashes.
Well, you mentioned that, you mentioned that around 80% of injuries in young children occur in or around the home. But I think we should rather focus on the fact that, you know, children, most of the time they are at schools.
That's true. And I think this is why we are pushing so hard this time around with the lockdown, because now we have children sitting in the homes. They're expected to be in homes. And you know, for many, and especially for children that have to be confined to very small homes, our thoughts are with parents and caregivers who have to care for children who have to live in a one-room home, for instance. That must be very, very challenging because, like you mentioned, children's developmental stages makes them very curious and they want to explore and they want to move, they want to climb, and those are all issues that we need to look at. We need to keep an eye on children because we don't want to stifle that curiosity.
Let's now discuss these common injuries that are most likely to occur. I mean, I've mentioned hot water burns, I've mentioned swallowing and poisonous substances and falling off the beds. I mean, what really causes this? Is it as a result of the negligence on the part of caregivers and parents, or is it just that kind of curiosity?
Do you know, it's a combination, and I don't want to dwell too much on negligence because I think parents have a hard enough job just raising kids.
Yeah.
But it is really, really critical that parents keep an eye on children, that they should know where the children are, especially during this lockdown. Make sure that you know where the children are in the house, because with little children especially, you know, the minute they go quiet, that they are probably busy with something that they shouldn't be. They might have discovered that cupboard where the cleaning materials are. They might have been busy fiddling with small little pieces that they can swallow. They might be climbing upstairs that they shouldn't normally be climbing up. So my advice and my call to parents is that you should please at all times have someone keep an eye on the children.
You know, Yolanda, for so many children, the reality of staying at home means to be confined to just one or two rooms, often in small places, or should I say smaller spaces. So what precautionary measures can be put in place to ensure that they are safe?
I would ask parents to just have a look around. If it's one room, if your home is one room, and I understand that it's really difficult. There's a severe shortage of space if you have a one-room home. Just look around the room and, for instance, look and see where you store your water. If you have to store water in the house for drinking and washing and cooking and all of that, please make sure that the water is safely stored, that it's covered, it's tightly closed up. If it has to be on the floor, if it can be out of the way, keep it up higher from where the children can't reach it. If you have to use a candle for light, please use our safer candle. You saw earlier on in one of the images, you have a candle in a jar where you put your candle in the middle of the jar with some sand right there, with some sand that if it should fall over, the sand will extinguish the flame. And that would then obviously stop the flame from growing bigger and causing injuries.
Yeah.
So really just look around and see what is a potential injury risks in the house.
And you say that during lockdown, it's likely that these injuries will increase with the challenge, of course, of being constrained for longer periods in confined spaces.
Yes.
Are you at all able to give us the numbers in terms of reported incidents thus far?
Not thus far, but I can tell you that, for instance, last year at the Red Cross Children's Hospital, in terms of burns, we had 1,117 children come in to be treated for burns. We had over 2,800 children fall off beds and out of the arms of people that were holding them. So those are pretty staggering numbers if we think that it's only in one hospital where all of this happens. And all of these injuries could be prevented, really, and it focuses on vigilance, making sure that the environment where the children are living is safer, and just being very vigilant of where your children are at all times.
Well, ChildSafe's Executive Director Yolande Baker joining us via Skype this morning to give us a breakdown of the guidelines they've put together to ensure optimum safety for these children during these uncertain times. Thank you so much for your time. Much appreciated.
Thanks very much.